Robert, he, him in the UK, is a theist who says trans women are not women. Robert, you are live. Tell us. Make your argument.
Before I make the argument, can I request a pronoun change or?
Sure.
I agree with like sort of the idea that I'm personally claiming the pronouns he, him. I just believe that males should be referred to as he, him. So I don't think they're sort of my pronouns, just in case people have that impression. But yeah,
what?
So yeah, I just think that what are commonly called trans women are really men who wish they were women. So that's why I disagree with your she, with your show, with your she, with your she, with your she, with your she.
Yeah, boy.
Robert, what's a woman?
A woman is an adult. A woman is an adult human female.
Why? Why?
O que ele contém é o indestrutível Exódia.
Ah, impossível!
Oh, well, that's just the way the language is.
Okay, so it's just because this is the definition, this is what women have to be?
Yeah, that's what the word means in English.
Are definitions descriptive or are they prescriptive, Robert?
Por favor, me ajuda.
Could you explain? I don't know what you mean by that.
Sure. Do definitions describe how words are typically used, or do they prescribe correctness to words?
They describe.
I agree.
Therefore, we can't say this is this because the definition says so, because my argument would just be, so we change the definition.
Esse cara é foda.
And then there's no contention with your argument because the definition is different.
Well, then I'd say that you don't have the authority to change the definition because, I don't think
you have the authority to set the definition?
What you're using is called an appeal to definitions fallacy.
Recebe intelligence.
So it's saying because this definition is X, that means it must always be X. It has always been X. X is the correct thing. But language predates the definition. Language precedes dictionaries and it precedes the definition. So like the words can change. Like if I added it, which Merriam-Webster already has updated the definition of woman or updated the definition of female to just mean anybody whose gender identity is opposite of male. If this would be the case, you have no argument against this. If your argument is just the definition, well, here you go. The definition is different. And Merriam-Webster, I think, is an authority on what can and can't be a definition. Wouldn't you agree?
Porque essa porra que tá certo! Essa merda aí que tá certo!
Well, so they're one dictionary and, in a sense, one authority.
So definitions don't matter when they disagree with you. They only matter when they're the one you're comfortable with and that you're used to.
Well, wait. Would you admit that you're wrong if I showed you other dictionaries?
No, Robert, because dictionaries have nothing to do with the truth value of a claim. I want you to substantiate your claim with facts and evidence or an argument. I don't care what the definition says.
É mentira!
I also think adult human female can still be a definition of woman. I think words can have multiple definitions. So one definition can be an adult human female because there are women who are adult human females.
Receba.
Well, I'm getting a little confused because if we were to take your line of reasoning and apply it to, let's say, what the meaning of rain is, and if I say, rain means when sort of water falls from the sky in a liquid form, something along those lines, and then you say, well, no, rain means when water falls from the sky in any form, then, like...
モカちゃんが教えてくれた
You know, how should we decide which of us is correct?
Well, then we would look at all the times that rain has fallen, all the evidence of rain falling that we have, and evaluate whether or not it's solid, liquid, or whatever. We would evaluate the evidence and we would evaluate the argument, which is why we're saying we don't care what the definition is. The definition is just a description of how people are using the word. The definition isn't making the claim that women are female. It's just saying when people say women, they're probably usually referring to this concept. So we're asking you, yes, to defend your definition. Why is it that adult human female is the definition you accept?
Agora deu cara aí mesmo, viu? Deu a porra, fudeu foi tudo.
Well, if we're saying that definition, wait a second. If we're saying that, you know,
Entendeu?
language is descriptive, then surely all this I need to do from that point of view is just show that, you know, the people using the language in the way that I claim are, you know, in some sense, the majority or the authoritative group.
Robert, all that is an appeal to majority. So if you're telling me if we convince 51% of the world to, when they say the word woman, to include trans women in that definition, then you would agree that trans women are now women at this point.
Quando nós criamos uma bola dessas, nós nos transformamos em Homo sapiens ou mulheres sapiens.
Potentially, but I think I have reason not to do that. And while
it's not about the definition, right?
While not,
Olha, vai pro seu lugar.
There are other reasons you believe trans women are women. It's not just because. Just really quick, when I asked you and I said, what's a woman and why is this a woman? Your answer was, well, just because that's what the definition is. But that's not the reason why you think trans women aren't women. There's some other categorical thing here. What is that thing?
Yeah, the other categorical thing is that when we talk about the majority, we need to specify the majority of who. Because, you know, you might...
Robert, this is not an answer to the question, and I'm concerned you're not listening. So I want to have this conversation with you, Robert.
Wow.
But hold on, just a second.
Yeah.
I want to have this conversation with you, right? But what you're saying right now is in no way a response to what Jovan's question was. So I want you to... That indicates to me that you aren't actually listening and you aren't actually trying to have a conversation. You are just kind of like... maybe panic going back to the thing you said at the beginning. So
Não percam a cabeça, não fiquem nervosos, não fiquem nervosos.
Let's not do that. There's no reason to panic. We're all good here. Jovan, do you want to ask your question again and see if he can answer this time?
You.
Yeah. What is the categorical thing that women have that trans women don't?
Pau, bicho.
We're saying that there is a condition that is necessary for all women to have that trans women do not possess and that cis men do not possess, right? So what is that
A minha capacidade cognitiva
necessary condition? What is that category condition that is needed to fit into the category of woman?
Made a mistake in how I've communicated my argument, or you've misunderstood because you've made a false assumption about my position.
So, Robert,
please, can I elaborate?
Robert, no.
Me permita concluir, rapaz.
Nossa, cara.
If I misunderstood,
thank you.
I mean, I asked you very specifically.
Aceita que dói menos.
And you said if the majority of people don't mean trans women when they say women, and then I said if they do, would they be women? And you said no, because there's still something categorically that they're not meaning. So what did I misunderstand?
Você entendeu? Se não entendeu, vai se fuder.
Well, I believe it's the majority of English speakers who are not either enemies of the English people or carrying out the agenda of enemies of the English people.
É o quê, rapaz?
So to elaborate, so that you understand why I think this.
Like blue coats.
Let's imagine. Thanks. Yeah. So let's imagine like.
Eu vou usar uma analogia.
We're in the Aztec civilization, and the Europeans arrived.
Os índios chegaram no Brasil em 1500.
And they kind of wipe out our civilization. But some of these Europeans are kind of professors and academics, and so they want to study the Aztec language.
What?
And they start to learn how to speak the Aztec language, and they spread it amongst other Europeans, their fellow Europeans. So that's how the Europeans kind of learn how to speak Aztec.
Mas que porra é essa?
But in the process of this, they don't like how some of the Aztec words are being defined and used. They think, well, this Aztec word, it's a bit, distasteful to our preferences.
Aí de repente tá lá na festa, que divertido, a festa com a criança. De repente estamos sendo atacados.
And so we're going to change
What
it.
the
And
fuck
we're
does this
Aztec
have to
speakers
do
ourselves
with
now.
anything?
Excomungado, filho dos infernos.
And so what I'm saying basically is that in this analogy, you people are the Spanish and I'm the Aztec.
Como é que é?
Because you people...
Não! Que é isso?
Cultures before fucking the UK colonized them had varieties of genders. You are literally the colonizer and you don't even know it, and it's so painful listening to you talk, because also none of this is a response to what Joven said or even an argument for the point that you made in the call screening.
Ah, cara, vai catar coquinho, né, cara? Eu fico puto pra caralho.
So I'm just totally fucking lost. I have no clue what you're talking about, how this is relevant to your argument. I'm so lost.
Justified crash out, honestly. So justified.
Do you follow kind of what I'm saying? Like, you understand how it relates to what I said earlier about majority now, hopefully?
Okay, Robert, listen.
Escuta aqui, filho de uma cadela.
Let's just say 51% of whatever group you want it to be says trans women are now women. Do you agree that trans women are women?
Yes, of my favored group, then yes.
Isso não é fair, burrice.
Robert, that is a bad reason to believe trans women are women. I'm gonna let you go because you are not a good thinker, and I'm sorry. I just can't handle this conversation anymore. Goodbye.
Eu quero que morra o mundo.